I recently gained a large number of Christian subscribers via Telemanthros, who said in a recent video that I was worth subscribing to. I'm not sure that subscribing straight away is necessarily the best policy for Telemanthros' viewers. I would personally have suggested taking a look at my conversation with him on meaning and purpose, assuming it could spare the 40 minutes, and then deciding. Regardless, having at least one radically different viewpoint in your subscriptions is probably a good thing. So, welcome Christians, and I hope you find me at least a little bit interesting. Now, before you all unsubscribe in disgust over my views, I thought I'd pose a question to you specifically, but of course anyone else who wants to play can. It is in fact a question I think anyone should think about, and is asked of atheists quite frequently. That question is, what if you're wrong? Now don't answer straight away, because my question is actually a little bit more specific than that, and I'd like to say a couple of things about it first. Some of you may be aware of Richard Dawkins' answer to this question, which went along the lines of, well, we may be wrong about any number of things, such as Allah, Vishnu, or the Great Juju. A number of Christians took exception to this answer, especially the comparison with Juju. Christopher Hitchens has also been presented with similar variants on Pascal's wager, and I believe that those asking him thought that he'd tried to dodge the question. Now, in the interests of explaining what I think the question means, I'll work through my own answer. So, what if I'm wrong and there is a God? Well, my first question, similar to Richard Dawkins, is which conception of God? There are many gods who are worshipped by significant numbers of people. Well, if the amount of study conducted within a religion means anything, as some people claim it does, then the Abrahamic traditions are probably more likely than most. As far as I'm aware, only Buddhism really comes close, and they don't care about God anyway. So, let's say from there, I use some arcane reasoning to admit that the Christian God is the most likely answer to the three of the Abrahamic conceptions to be true. Well, my answer is that there are a lot of interpretations of Jesus by Christians. I would hope that those who were correct were the ones that said that the message of Jesus was to live your life well, and in so doing you are loving God, and that I would be judged accordingly. But not all Christians think that way. What I think that many of the people who pose this question of atheists are really asking is, what if the only way to escape hell is to accept Jesus as your personal saviour? So, this is the question I'll answer. Firstly, I would probably feel quite silly. That Jesus was Lord must have been obvious, for if I had made a reasonable mistake, then being sent to hell for eternity for making it would be bizarrely sadistic. Obviously I would go to hell, which according to varying views is either being put into a range of torture devices by minions of the devil, or else simply being excluded from God's presence, which would be akin to torture because what I'd done to myself. Either way, I'd like to catch up with Gandhi, because he'd be down there as well. Why am I not worried about this outcome? Well, I consider the chance that I'm wrong in precisely this way is small. But added to this, there is another reason which I'll get into later. Now, you may or may not find that answer satisfactory. If not, tell me why. Anyway, for those of you who believe that unless I accept Christ as my saviour I will go to hell, I would like to turn the question back to you. Specifically, if you are not a Catholic, I would like to ask, what if the Catholics who believe that all non-Catholics will go to hell are correct? Obviously, if you're a Catholic, I'm not going to ask you that question. Instead, I'll ask, what if the Protestants who believe that the Catholic Church is corrupt and its followers will go to hell are correct? If you think my answer to what if you're wrong is a poor one, how does your answer differ in any way other than you thinking that you are more likely to be correct? Now, while I mean this question to be a challenge in one sense, I don't mean it to be an aggressive question which implies, see, I'm right and you're wrong, stupid theists. My main point is that no matter what you believe, somebody thinks you'll be spending eternity in hell for it. Choosing one system over another may improve your odds of going to heaven, according to some people's calculations, but according to others it could have exactly the opposite effect. That is the main reason why I think that the best way is to choose my belief system on what I honestly believe the evidence suggests. Let me know what you think about the question, what if I'm wrong?